What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name is Jeff. Now, this is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, why don't we jump into a review? Today, we're looking at the Rock Oyster 18-year-old. Stick around. So, we've got an interesting one today. We've got a blended malt with us. This one's called the Rock Oyster 18-year-old. Our bottle here says that it's got an extraordinary character with maritime island qualities. That sounds pretty good. This and its kind of family of blended malts have been generally pretty well received. And I say family because there's a lot of these Douglas Laing blended malts out there. There's Big Pete, that's probably their most famous one. That was basically a brand in and of itself. But you also have stuff like the Epicurean, Scallywag. You have our Rock Oyster here, Timorous Beastie. I might be missing some. They all have some really interesting bottle designs. They're all considered pretty reputable blends. Compass Box often steals the show when it comes to premium blends. They have cool bottle designs. They have really creative expressions. But these guys are kind of doing the same thing. And in my opinion, Douglas Laing should be right up there with them. They make really good stuff. Now, our Rock Oyster here is part of the Remarkable Region Malt series. This one focuses on the islands, and the first name we're going to get here is Orkney. So 50-50, this could be Highland Park or Scapa, but it's Highland Park. Next up, we have Arran mentioned. So, of course, that's going to be from the Arran Distillery or the La Cranza Distillery. It's definitely not from Lag. Jura is mentioned, so, of course, Jura. Last is Islay. Now, Islay is always the big mystery. We never know where these mystery Islay malts come from, although they're often from Kalila. So, not a bad lineup of single malts in here. This one should be as islandy as they come. Island whiskeys, of course, usually very salty, this kind of maritime character to them. You might have some gentle peat or some not so gentle peat worked in as well, and you might have a certain ruggedness there. Now, it is worth noting that the 4 distilleries that I just mentioned are only part of what composes this whiskey. It's not everything, but they are the main ones, or the ones that they want to highlight, which, I'm great with. I like Arran. I think Arran is a great distillery. I'm okay with pretty much anything out of Islay. Highland Park is a mixed bag. They can be pretty hit or miss, but on the whole, I would say I'm a fan of their house style. And Jura is a distillery that exists. So this could be an interesting one. Why don't we hop into a review, see what our whiskey's all about, and in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. So these Douglas Laing blended malts usually give us good specs. I believe that's the case for our bottle here. 46.8% ABV, which is very respectable. It's going to be non-chill filtered. Now, for coloring, there's no mention of natural color on the bottle. Most online sites have it as naturally colored. I believe that to be the case. If you guys know any different, do let me know down in the comments. But for now, 3 checks. So I think our color is natural, but I'm not sure. For these Douglas Laing bottles, I like them. I think they're really cool. I think they look great. This Scallywag, what else? Epicurean. They all have this kind of like consistent Art Deco look to them, which I think is really cool. The only outlier is going to be Big Pete, which is a little bit more cartoony. I like this bottle design better. I think I'm going to give this one 4.5 out of 5 for presentation. It does say that it's non-chill filtered, and we have a little blurb on the back that says it's made as nature intended or something like that, but again, no mention of color there. Stresses the islandy character. Overall, I think it's a great looking bottle. Sits really nicely on the shelf. Let's try our nose. So bright, crisp, maritime. Sea air, citrus like limes, seaweed, some yogurt, maybe some tobacco. There's like a faint vegetal note to this. There's some honey and some heather. Now, there is a slight astringency here, but nothing off-putting. Now our palate. Salty, very islandy. I'm getting honey, sea salt, more of that yogurt note, some florals in here like heather, some gentle like floral type peat, grass, ginger ale, maybe some minerals in here. I do get a bit of cardboard, which is a note I usually associate with youth, but nothing young about this stuff. I do like how crisp this is. And now we're finished. Okay. Manuka honey, florals like heather again, peat, minerals, and a salty breeze. Medium to long finish. So this is an interesting one. You really can start to sort of pick apart these flavors and try and locate specific distillery characters in this. For me, the biggest influence is going to be Highland Park, maybe followed by Arran, maybe a little bit of Jura in here. Now there is peat in this, but I don't get anything specifically Islay here. The first thing that strikes me here is that sort of heathery style of Highland Park peat, which I feel is pretty forward in the profile. We also have some sort of Arran style notes in here because it's very bright, very crisp, very clean. We have Jura, I guess, in here with its Jura-ness, which is like this very gently peaty, malty, somewhat rich character. Now, I do feel like the Islay influence in here is a little bit less substantial. Usually, Islay's going to give us much stronger peat than what we get with Highland Park, but I'm guessing that the proportions in here kind of favor the Highland Park. Of course, I could be wrong. This is all wild speculation, but that's my guess. Interestingly, I've seen a couple of people online criticize this one for being too blended out, which basically means you're lacking any kind of distinctive profile. You have too much of a generalized character, and I don't really see that at all. As far as I'm concerned, for a blend, I think this one has plenty of character. I think it's effectively captured the spirit and the character of a lot of the contributing single malts. I think they all come together in a very effective way. I think they're harmonious, they're balanced, and they're identifiable. You can see little bits of Arran in there. You can see little bits of Highland Park. Also, as part of their remarkable regional malts, I believe it's called, I think they've done a great job at sort of capturing the essence of the islands, or the sort of regional character of the islands here. We have florals in here, we have gentle peat, we have mineral notes, and of course we have that sort of like salty maritime character. So as far as I'm concerned, this stuff works. It's not a particularly complex whiskey, and I wouldn't even call it refined for an 18-year-old. There's definitely some rugged, almost astringent aspects to it, but I think it actually works in favor of the character, or at least it doesn't diminish the quality of the character here. Overall, we have some really nice intensity and some great flavors. I think this is a blend for single malt lovers. It's definitely not a traditionally pretty whiskey, but again, that works. It's got some weight, it's got some edge, it's got a few sharp corners in there, and it's got a distinctive lack of any kind of like wine or sherry influence that would kind of sweeten things up and round out the edges. This whiskey has balls. So my score for this one is going to be 87. I think it's a good whiskey. I think it's a great amalgamation of island flavors. So if you're a fan of stuff like Highland Park or Arran, or to a lesser extent even Jura or Islay, I think if you know these component parts and you like those component parts, this whiskey won't surprise you, but you're probably going to like it. And you know, because of this expression, I do feel like I want to explore more of these Douglas Laing blended malts. I've had a few so far. I've had some Big Pete's, Scallywag. They've all been pretty good. The whiskeys usually are a little bit less pretty than what we'll get with Compass Box. I've had a few Compass Boxes and I found them all to be very nice, very well composed, but generally quite pretty whiskeys. These ones are a little bit more rugged, a little bit more intense, but they're always good fun. So, recommended. Alright, I think we do have some pretty good value here. This whiskey is going to be quite cheap for an 18-year-old, but quite expensive for a blend. But as it's a blend that's all malt, there's no grain whiskey in it, and as it's delicious, I'm okay with the price. So I guess if you're a fan of Douglas Laing bottlings, if you don't mind a blended malt, and if you're a fan of sort of island whiskeys or the island profile, this one should work out just fine for you. Alright, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll start this off by saying that I've just set up a Patreon, so if you want to help me out or help the channel out, I'll put that link down below. Anything and everything is appreciated. Everything. Yeah, I mean, if you want to give me everything, I'll take it. Anything is appreciated. Also, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep that in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.